With mantra recitation, conviction and devotion are more important than pronunciation. Written by Khenpo Karten Rinpoche. Today, I'd like to share some of my thoughts and advice about mantra with all of my Dharma brothers and sisters. Mantras play such an important role in Buddhism in general, and particularly in the Vajrayana as it developed in Tibet. Mantra is a Sanskrit word that means that which liberates or protects the mind. It is a method to control the mind, which makes the mind steady and aids one from falling into the clutches of mental afflictions. In this way, mantras can be considered a companion of calm, abiding practice and insight because they protect the mind from the influence of ordinary perceptions and conceptions, thereby supporting meditation. In Vajrayana Buddhism, every meditational deity, whether it be peaceful, wrathful, male or female, single or in union with a consort, has a specific mantra. That mantra itself is understood to be the enlightened speech of the deity, or more accurately, the essence of the deity itself in the form of sound. As such, when we utter the syllables of the mantra, we are not only invoking the presence, blessings, and activity of the deity associated with that mantra, but we are activating, we are awakening the enlightened qualities of the deity in our own mind stream, which has been our fundamental nature from the very beginning. So you can see why mantras are so important. In general, mantras are categorized as secret mantras, mantras of recitation, and awareness mantras. The mantras that we typically chant or recite are mantras of recitation. Now, there are two ways of approaching mantra recitation based on what we consider to be the most important aspect of recitation. In one camp are those who assert that the correct pronunciation of the mantric syllables is of paramount importance. They believe that as mantras originate from the Sanskrit language, which is considered to be the sacred language in which all Buddhas teach the Dharma, mantras must therefore be recited as accurately as possible in Sanskrit. Otherwise, their meaning and essence will be lost. And if the meaning and essence is lost, then its power is also lost. Such individuals believe, in other words, that if the mantra is not recited with its correct sound, then there is no benefit. So for those individuals, the study of the science of sound or phonetics is essential before reciting the mantra. In the other camp, there are those who believe that mantra, especially secret mantra, must be practiced above all with positive intention, strong confidence or conviction, and fervent devotion. They believe that firm conviction and devotion is of greatest importance while reciting mantras. There's actually a Tibetan saying that with firm conviction, the secret mantra is accomplished. With pure motivation, firm conviction, and pure view, one will undoubtedly accomplish the result of the mantra. Analogous to this is the teaching that as long as the conduct and teachings of one's root guru are in accordance with authentic Dharma, one can receive the blessings of a fully enlightened Buddha through pure view, fervent faith, and the practice of Guru Yoga, even if the teacher is in fact an ordinary human being. In the same way, in this school of thought, greater emphasis is placed on one's devotion, motivation, and view than is placed on correct pronunciation of the sounds of the mantric syllables. If one recites the mantra with faith and devotion and with pure intention, there is bound to be a result. As many of you know, Tibetan Buddhism has its origins in India. Most of the mantras originating from India have not been translated into Tibetan. As an example, the Vajrayana mantra, Om Bensa Satasamaya Manupalaya, etc., is recited in Sanskrit or in a Tibetanized version of Sanskrit. It could have been translated and recited in Tibetan, but the original Sanskrit is retained. Although the long life mantra of His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been translated into Tibetan and Chinese, it is still recited in Sanskrit. Additionally, the mantras in order to accomplish the yidam or meditational deities are not translated into Tibetan. Rather, they are intentionally left in Sanskrit. The main purpose for doing so is not primarily that they sound correct, but it's to retain the blessings of reciting them in their original form as emanated and taught by the Buddha. I consider myself to be in this latter camp, with those who consider one's mindset to be the key when reciting mantras. To illustrate my position, I want to share an account of the great Satchapinthita. As an emanation of the Bodhisattva of wisdom, Manjushri, Satchapinthita was one of the greatest scholars of Tibet. He lived from 1182 to 1251 and was especially versed in phonetics, the study of sound, and linguistics. Not only was he well versed in the sound of human languages, but he was also said to be able to understand the languages of non-human beings like animals and devas. One day, while Satchapinthita was walking across a hill, he approached a stream where there was a small waterfall and noticed the sound of a mantra emanating from the water. He noted its unusual tone, went closer, put his ear very near to the water, and heard the Vajrayana mantra. Om Bensa Kilikilaya Sarwa Binganim Ba Hom Pe. However, Satchapinthita noticed that there was an error in the way the waterfall was reciting the mantra. The mantra was being produced as Om Bensa Chili Chilaya Sarwa Binganim Ba Hom Pe. Satchapinthita then had the thought that the mantra was in fact coming from an elderly practitioner, perhaps someone with a speech impediment, living on the hill and practicing the mantra. He decided to find out and walked along the waterway. Sure enough, there was an old yogi in a cave, slowly and erroneously reciting the mantra. Seeing him, Satchapinthita approached the old meditator and asked what he was doing. The yogi replied that he was practicing the Vajrayana deity and reciting the mantra. Satchapinthita then asked the yogi if he could recite the mantra for him. The yogi then recited the mantra again, phonetically incorrect, with Chili Chilaya instead of Kili Kalaya. Satchapinthita thought to himself, this poor old yogi does not understand the meaning and is just following his own blind faith, which will not work. He resolved to set the old man on the correct path, so he told the yogi that he was reciting the mantra incorrectly and explained how he was making a mistake by straying away from the true pronunciation of the mantra. By altering the words of the mantra and thereby its meaning, Satchapinthita asserted that it would likely bring inauspicious results, and then offered to teach the yogi the correct way to recite the mantra so that it would benefit him. The yogi replied in turn by asking how he would have recited it. The learned scholar proceeded to chant the mantra with great precision and accuracy. The old yogi then retorted that it was actually Satchapinthita who was improperly reciting the mantra, because he did so with a mind clouded with doubt, about the power of the mantra. Because he had no faith and only concepts, chanting the mantra that way would bear no fruit. Frustrated by this challenge, Satipatthana argued again that the yogi was definitely incorrect from a phonetic point of view, which prompted the old yogi to jump up and explain forcefully. For me, it was, it is now, and it always will be Chili Chilaya. So saying, he withdrew his purpa from his waist and he thrust it into the rock nearby. The purpa pierced all the way into the rock down to its handle. Now Satipatthana, a Vajrayana practitioner himself, pulled out his own purpa and replied, "It was, it is, and always will be Kili Kilaya." Sparks flew as he struck the rock with a dagger, but instead of piercing the rock, it just fell to the ground. Satipatthana was humbled then and filled with shame. The yogi approached him and said that he was not only wrong, but seriously wrong. He explained, in secret mantra recitation, you must have great devotion and true motivation, and you lack both of these. You have great doubt as to what is correct and incorrect. My mistake is just in the sound, and that does not really matter. Your mistake is in lacking devotion and pure view. Satipatthana is said to have then received transmission and instructions from this elderly yogi. The yogi's confidence came from devotion and experience, whereas Satipatthana's came only from scholarly knowledge and intellect. So, when reciting the Amitabha Puja during our usual practices at our center, some may not correctly recite the mantras or other Tibetan words in the text, and they may be wondering about it. But that is not really important. While reciting the Vajrasattva mantra in Sanskrit, we may not understand every word completely, but your intention while reciting is far more important than how it sounds. I encourage all of my students and Dharma friends to chant mantra with faith, devotion, and a pure, altruistic motivation, without concepts regarding correct or incorrect or am I doing this right? Just let your heart and mind settle into and merge with the sacred blessings of the mantra. Merge your faith and devotion with the deity, with the recitation, and let firm conviction in the power of the mantra arise. In this way, there will definitely be benefit for you and for others.